Have you ever felt a moment so quiet that it makes you hold your breath? Not because of what is clearly visible, but because of what is felt, slow, deep, and difficult to explain in words. Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. The final episodes of Are You Sure do not arrive with emotional explosions or loud, dramatic scenes. They come like a breath held for too long, almost inaudible, yet once released, they immediately fill the chest. And it is there that we find some of the softest and most intimate Jikook moments so far. Not a closeness that demands attention, nor dramatic moments created for the camera, but a quiet closeness, one that speaks in its own way. And today, we pause for a moment on one small scene. A moment that could easily be missed. Yet precisely because of that, it says everything. Jimin and Jungkook are lying in the same bed. A sight that feels so calm, almost intimate without needing explanation. They lie close to each other, like two people quietly enjoying a honeymoon, as if the outside world has paused for a moment. There are no exaggerated gestures. No forced words. What exists is comfort born from long familiarity, from a closeness that has been tested by time. The space between them is nearly non-existent, as if their bodies know exactly where they are meant to be. The position looks natural, like a breath flowing without conscious thought. There is no nervousness or awkwardness, only a mature calm, the calm of two people who understand each other's rhythm, warmth, and presence. In that moment, togetherness is no longer something to think about, but something to feel. Silence speaks, and closeness becomes the most honest language. The first thing that immediately draws attention, and feels impossible to ignore, is the fact that they are both still awake. Jimin is still holding his phone. The screen's glow softly reflects on his face, signaling that his mind is still active. A few seconds later, the screen goes dark, not because sleep overtakes him, but because he chooses to turn it off. On the other side, Jungkook is clearly awake as well. His movements are too deliberate to be called reflexes, too gentle to be coincidence. He moves closer slowly, with a caution that feels deeply intimate, as if he is fully aware of Jimin's presence, as if every centimeter of distance he closes is a conscious decision. That is why, when the editor adds the caption, "Waking up his suddenly fallen asleep young," it feels confusing. Waking him how? Jimin is clearly not asleep. There is no sudden transition into drowsiness. No sign that Jungkook is pulling him back from a dream. What we see is the opposite. This is not about waking someone up. This is about choosing to move closer. About a presence that says, without sound, "I'm here." About a quiet need to draw near, not because he has to, but because he wants to. And then there is that moment. A small movement. A narrowing distance. Faces too close to ignore. A second that almost looks like a kiss. Nothing is shown clearly. The camera offers no confirmation. There is no dramatic angle that declares what truly happened. And precisely because of that, the moment feels incredibly intimate. Because the most private things are rarely shown outright. They live in the gray areas. In seconds that make you hold your breath. In moments that make your finger instinctively press replay. Not for sensation, but to make sure the feeling you just experienced was real. Two people. One space. One silence filled with comfort, familiarity, and something far deeper than mere togetherness. This is the kind of moment that always makes Jikook feel different. Never about proving anything to the world. Never about deliberately showing something. Always about how they naturally gravitate toward each other, especially when no one is supposed to be watching. The longer the moment plays, the more its rhythm seeps into the chest, slowly, but surely. With a tenderness that is almost imperceptible, Jungkook shifts Jimin, turning his body so they face each other. His movements are calm and thoughtful, as if he knows exactly which distance is safe and which one he wants to shorten. He pulls Jimin closer, slowly, without haste, without hesitation. In the small space between their breaths, the world seems to shrink. Then their heads touch, not as a surprise, but as a return home. A light touch that carries warmth, trust, and a closeness long familiar to both of them. That's simple. And yet, it is precisely that simplicity that makes you hold your breath. Because there is no excessive movement, no drama, only a silence heavy with meaning. Faint, almost lost between breaths and such close distance. A voice that could be missed if not listened to with the heart. Some fans believe Jungkook whispers softly, almost like a secret meant for only one person. Slowly. 2 words. Simple. Unemphasized. Undramatic. Yet that is where its power lies. Because the whisper does not sound like a command, but like care. Not control, but instinctive concern, born from safety and closeness that need no announcement. And suddenly, everything feels too soft to be seen with ordinary eyes. Too delicate to analyze without involving your emotions. How are we supposed to process a moment like this? A moment that doesn't shout, but pulses quietly in the chest. That doesn't ask for attention, yet is impossible to ignore. Because within that whisper lies something far greater than words. Mature intimacy, calm trust, and a relationship that needs no proof for anyone. This is not merely physical closeness. This is communication on another level. Jungkook's gaze toward Jimin looks hungry, yet filled with reverence. Not a demanding look, but one that cherishes. Meanwhile, Jimin returns it with a soft, shy gaze, as if there is a small world between them that only the two of them can access. Every look, every small movement, every gentle touch, all of it speaks far louder than any words ever could. You don't need additional captions. You don't need a long narration to understand what is happening, because everything is already clear. This is not just togetherness. This is a language of affection only the two of them understand. And perhaps, that is the heart of it all. Not about what is clearly seen on screen, but about what is felt and lingers, even after the screen goes dark. Jikook has never been about explaining everything to the world. They are about a quiet language, glances, shortened distances, barely audible whispers, and a presence that says, "I'm here," without needing sound. If this moment made you hold your breath, replay the scene, or simply fall silent for a while, maybe it's because you felt it too. That there is something too gentle to ignore, and too real to be dismissed as coincidence. Thank you for being with us on Jikook Moments. If you felt the same vibration, don't forget to leave your mark, like, comment, and subscribe. Because some stories don't need to be shouted, they only need to be felt, together.